backstage of a music show. Instruments muffle the background, and smoke hangs in the air, stinging your throat as it travels to your lungs. The environment is strange. It's thrilling, but also terrifying, especially for a 10-year-old girl. Once the show is over and the crowd dies down, things will never be the same. The girl will meet her idol, the singer of an up-and-coming band, and a monster ready to consume her. What you've just heard is a true story, and it's just the beginning of a deep and unforgiving rabbit hole. Because as the 10-year-old enters a bathroom backstage, her idol forces her to do the unspeakable.
He was very obsessed with, my mouth, and putting his fingers in my mouth.
And though she would try and call for help, the event would be covered up by a dangerous internet cult. Before we get too deep into the video today, this is a Morgan & Morgan legal alert. Emerging reports reveal that some hair color products may not come with clear warnings regarding potential health risks. If you or someone you know have been diagnosed with bladder cancer or other forms of cancer as a result of prolonged exposure to hair color, Morgan & Morgan is here to fight to get you the compensation you deserve. It only takes a few minutes to see if you qualify, and you can do it all from your phone. Visit the link in the description to learn more and see if you qualify. If you're like me, you probably spent a questionable amount of time in your youth jumping around various social media platforms. After all, for many of us, the rise of social media was something that was actively developing right at the same time that we were. And that infancy came with some flops and others that have stood the test of time. But MySpace, one of the first social media platforms to gain worldwide popularity, falls somewhere in the middle.
New friend requests, new comments, and new picture comments. Ever since I got on MySpace, I have no time for sleep and no time for homework, but I feel cooler now.
MySpace, the so-called place for friends, launched in August of 2003. Though it was initially intended for online data storage, it quickly evolved into an early form of social networking site. I won't get into a detailed history, but it's very important to know that in 2005, the website launched a record company known as MySpace Records. Because of this, many up-and-coming artists like My Chemical Romance or Taylor Swift, and even Lady Gaga, garnered attention and fame through the site. While a platform like Facebook may pride itself in its image sharing, MySpace was known for music. And with that came a very disturbing individual, someone who preyed on young girls.
We're recording.
This is Damien Leonhardt, but at the time of this recording, they were known better by their online username, CurlyGirl13. When searching this name on YouTube, you'll find plenty of uploads and channels posing as Damien, but the channel itself that they originally created no longer exists. And for good reason, because the 11-year-old girl seen in these videos is not as they seem. Though they come off as bubbly and energetic, an event took place in their life circa 2010 that would never leave them the same. From the archival footage and CurlyGirl13 re-uploads, we can get a sense of the type of content that Damien was posting prior to things going awry. This content ranged from putting on makeup to reacting to celebrity news and having fun with their friend from school. All of this makes it seem as though Damien was headed down a good path. But after watching through more of their content, it became apparent to me that something was very wrong. The signs weren't necessarily hard to see. In some of their videos, Damien makes concerning remarks revolving around ending their own life and sending explicit pictures via direct message. At the time of these comments, they were only 10 years old. Later reports would surmise that this suggestive behavior was caused by someone who had secretly entered Damien's life, someone that would take away any childhood innocence they had to give. In 2010, Damien would adopt the nickname Jesse Slaughter. Though some of the viewers on their YouTube channel would still refer to them as Curly Girl, one thing was for certain. Damien was changing, this transformation ever apparent in the following upload.
No, I'm not actually being sarcastic about that. I'm literally saying thank you to him because he's what's got me all where I am right now. Yeah, I mean, he's the reason why I am Jesse Slaughter. He's the reason I have that name. He's the reason I'm wearing this outfit. Whoa! Hippie camera. He's the reason I'm wearing this today. He's the reason I have my hair like this, except for the bangs. The bangs are Geoffrey Paris. But yeah, I mean, he's the reason I'm wearing makeup. All that, because he has literally inspired me.
In this video, Damien appears to be invigorated. While their other videos show the energetic preteen you'd expect, something about this video was different. The energy was almost manic, like they have a secret that they cannot tell anyone. Multiple times throughout the video, Damien refers to a he. They say that the he in question is responsible for giving them the Jesse Slaughter nickname and inspiring how they dress and do their hair and makeup. It's uncertain the exact date in which Damien first came into contact with this individual, but following their relationship with one another, any and all evidence that he and Damien had ever met would attempted to be erased from existence. And despite this, one photograph of the two remains. In this picture, Damien leans up against a man. He's much taller than them, hunching over just to get in view of the camera. This is the night that Damien's life would change forever. The man standing next to Damien, the he spoken about in their previous videos, is Jesus David Torres, better known by his stage name Davi Vanity, the founder and lead singer of a band known as Blood on the Dance Floor.
Hi, I'm Davi. I'm Ellen. And we are partying at One Tour 2010. Yeah! And we're gonna...
Who here likes Tim Burton? Cool, I'm gonna have you after the show today.
When searching Davi's name today, it's easy to find footage of him making questionable decisions while on stage. But back then, people viewed him as just another rock star living life in the fast lane. Blood on the Dance Floor was a part of a subculture known as scene. It's similar to goth or emo, but instead favors a much more vibrant and expressive color palette. As you can tell from these photographs, many scene kids wore skinny jeans, eyeliner, and styled their hair in a very particular way. And though this subculture bled into adulthood for some, the predominant age range for scene was teenagers. It was a counterculture at the time, going against the trends and expressing oneself in a loud and proud kind of way. And amidst this movement was Damien. And though they were rather young at the time, it's clear through watching their uploads that this influence was heavily felt. As mentioned before, MySpace was a huge outlet for musicians and music lovers alike. Many kids categorized underneath the scene label would spend countless hours on the social media site listening to what would later be referred to as scene music, Alternative, screamo, dance, and electronic bands were spearheading this subculture. One of these bands, Blood on the Dance Floor, would rise to fame through the repeated playbacks from scene teens trying to rebel. And this is where things begin to get a little strange, because the Blood on the Dance Floor frontman, Davi Vanity, was very aware of the influence that he had over his teenage fans, and I think he had every intention of exploiting it.
Oh my God. Yes. Give me your applause right now. Give me all your applause. I want them all.
Davi's audience, a crowd of teenagers and underage girls. From his position on stage, he demands that they throw their bras at him. Their age doesn't deter him from making inappropriate comments like this, or even exposing his butt on stage. But the crowd is eating it up. They cheer him on, shrieking with excitement. If done today, Davi probably wouldn't have a career. But times were different back then, which allowed predators easier access to unsuspecting prey.
Hey YouTube, it's Jessie Slaughter here, and this is to all you fucking haters, okay? Guess what? You guys are bitches, you know what? You don't faze me. I'm just doing this just so you can tell. I read the comments, I read the messages, I reply to them, but you know what? I don't give a
Damien wears a Blood on the Dance Floor t-shirt as they rant to their webcam in their bedroom. At the time of this recording, they have recently turned 11 years old. This video is a response to a post on Sticky Drama, a teen drama website centered around high school gossip. The post was made by one of Damien's classmates, an individual making fun of a claim made by Damien earlier that day. The claim in question was that Damien was in a romantic relationship with Davi Vanity. I know what you're thinking. An 11-year-old girl who is a big fan of a band claims that they are in a relationship with the band's lead singer. It's a fantasy. Every young girl or boy has had a larger-than-life crush at some point. This was the rationale shared by those who Damien confided in about their new boyfriend. But there was something different about Damien's claims. They weren't baseless or figments of their imagination or desire. Because in the early 2010s, Davi began going over to Damien's house under the pretense that he would be styling their hair. But this was just a disguise for something much darker.
He was very obsessed with, like, my mouth. Putting his fingers in my mouth.
You can probably tell the direction in which this story is headed, but regardless, I just want to send out a warning that we are headed into some pretty dicey territory. If you are sensitive to content containing SA, I strongly encourage you to continue with caution. These types of situations are always difficult to talk about, and that's why I want to treat it with grace. But at the same time, as much as I do that, you can't really change the truth. According to Damien, they were first introduced to Davi and his music through MySpace. After being drawn to Davi's look and style, the two promptly added one another on the site. To Damien's surprise, Davi responded to Damien's direct messages. It's uncertain what exactly the two talked about at the time, but Damien made plans to meet up with Davi at a Blood on the Dance Floor concert in their town. Damien was just 10 years old at the time, and Davi was 24. Damien recalls hanging out with Davi before the concert and afterwards. The experience was surreal, as they finally got to meet their online friend and someone who they deeply looked up to. The concert proceeded as normal, the crowd of youth singing songs together and swooning over Davi and his band. But after the show concluded, the interactions between Damien and Davi continued. Davi coaxing Damien to a bathroom backstage and asking them to do something a 10-year-old should never do. According to Damien, in the following months after the bathroom incident, Davi would routinely make trips to Damien's house to style their hair together. Damien's parents at the time thought little of the interactions, believing that their daughter was extremely lucky to have a friend who was a famous musician. Little did they know, their daughter was repeatedly being taken advantage of. But through Damien's adolescent lens at the time, they saw nothing wrong with what was happening. They loved Davi and valued his companionship. But certain things didn't feel right, like how when the two were in public together, Davi would refer to Damien as his little cousin. Because to Damien, these intimate experiences, along with the continued conversations over MySpace, meant that Davi was their boyfriend, something that they were eager to express to their classmates at school who were also fans of Blood on the Dance Floor. When Davi heard about the post made to sticky drama by one of Damien's classmates, he was not happy at all. To the 24-year-old man at the time, any potential news that he was dating minors would get him in a lot of trouble. As such, he erased all evidence of he and Damien's relationship with one another. And to make matters worse, Davi reportedly sent over his cult-like fanbase to Damien's channel, causing Damien to receive an entourage of negative comments. At the same time, users on 4chan also began gathering Damien's personal information, their address, phone number, emails, and doxing them and their family. This culminated in the first of multiple mental breakdown videos posted by Damien.
And if you can't realize that and stop hating, then you know what? I'll pop a Glock in your mouth and make a brain slushy.
At first, Damien reacts with aggression in response to the negative comments, but they couldn't keep this act up for long, as the overbearing nature of the internet caused the 10-year-old girl to snap.
Okay, you guys, this is Jesse's letter, and
You know what?
to say that you guys have ruined my life.
I'm gonna tell you right now, this is from her father. You bunch of lying, no good punks. And I know who it's coming from because I backtraced it. And I know who's emailing and who's doing it. And you've been reported to the cyber police and the state police. So you better write one more thing or screw with my computer again. You'll be arrested. End of conversation from her father.
You right as fucking gonna come and beat her ass.
And if you come near my daughter, guess what? Consequences will never be the same. You lying bunch of...
This video, where Damien's father comes to his daughter's defense, would go extremely viral, but for all the wrong reasons. Viewers used the moment as fuel for an ever-growing fire, one that was actively burning Damien alive. It spawned a number of parody videos from YouTubers and Blood on the Dance Floor fans who were blissfully unaware that Damien was telling the truth the entire time.
And I backtraced it. I know who it's coming from. You're gonna get involved with the cyber police.
I reported you to the cyber police!
You guys keep messing with my daughter. Trust me, you done goofed.
I can't even sleep. I can't even poop. And I haven't eaten in 14 minutes. You guys ruined my life. You guys have ruined my life.
Backtraced! I backtraced it all, you poor girl.
These videos would come to be known as part of the "you done goofed" trend, based after the phrase spoken by Damien's father in the original video.
You will have to deal with the police, because you done goofed.
But while most of the people recording videos for the trend didn't know the true extent to the situation, one individual did, and decided to record their own take regardless.
You guys are ruining my life.
That's one! I have nothing nice to say about my daughter! Don't say I'm recording this! I report you to the cyber police! And the state police! And whoever will beat my daughter, and I know
the police!
Davi shouts in the background, mocking a situation that he was tied to, doing everything in his power to separate himself and denounce any and all involvement with a girl who once thought the world of him. It wouldn't take long for the "You Done Goofed" trend to extend beyond the Blood on the Dance Floor fan base that had initially started it. Now it was the entire world. Countless YouTubers were jumping on the trend, unaware of what they were taking part in. But despite their reputation being destroyed at the early age of 10 years old, Damien's trials were just beginning. In August of 2010, the following screen recording would surface.
Don't unplug that computer!
You're such a fucking nut! Don't tell me come back tomorrow and I might give up! Jessica, I don't trust anybody! Anybody! Especially your friends!
It's a little hard to tell what just happened given the fact that Damien's webcam was turned off, but they have just been slapped by their father. Following the surfacing of this clip, Damien's family completely fell apart. Not only were they pulled from school, but the infamous slap clip led to a full-scale investigation against Damien's father. And during this time, Damien was placed into foster care.
Okay. Is it recording? Yeah. Hi Davi, hi Jay, hi Sally, hi the whole BTDF spectrum. It's Jessica Rose, aka Justice Slaughter here, and I'm saying sorry for everything that I've done. I feel really bad about it now. I'm in foster care. I have been locked up in mental institutions, and just like you done Goose said, I do have to go to counseling now and everything, but it's not because of you. So, I'm really sorry for everything that I've done. I'm sorry for accusing you and everything. I know that all that happened. And I'm having this recorded by Oriana because I have no computer privileges now because of the foster. I'm truly sorry for everything that I've done, and I love BOTDF. They're basically all the CDs that I have from BOTDF now. So, just saying that I'm sorry and everything, and I love you guys to death. I mean, Jay's my idol, Davi's my idol, and Sally inspired this. I shaved it off my head. So, yeah, love you guys.
This harrowing upload shows the now 11-year-old girl apologizing for something that never should have happened to her in the first place. All of this, of course, in an effort to clear their name, to try and be able to leave the house and live without fear that they would be mocked or judged, to take back any semblance of normal youth they possibly could. And in the background, Davi and his band were writing a song about Damien and the controversy.
We're not a fan base, we are a cult!
Everything you said, it was a lie. We watched as the world watched you cry. Everything you did was for the fame. What you have now is a world of pain. These lyrics found Damien on their 12th birthday. It was a date that Davi knew. The release was tactful, purposeful. It wasn't a coincidence. The song, fittingly titled "You Done Goofed," recounts the aftermath of he and Damien's relationship. Not only does Davi go into detail about how Damien supposedly lied about the entire situation, but he also belittles them, saying things like, "I'm beautiful, not a suspect of... Don't you know I'm boss? I got the love of my fans and my family. They're the reason I am. They'll always cover my back. They'll annihilate your ass when I'm under attack. My name and reputation won't be the target of a..." And while the song wouldn't stand out as one of the band's greatest hits, it would forever be a jab in the back of a 10-year-old girl whose innocence was stolen that night in the bathroom backstage. In the following years, the story of Damien, or Curly Girl 13, and their online harassment would reach national headlines, the story being used as a cautionary tale about the dangers of online bullying. These headlines, along with other articles posted regarding the situation, would diffuse some of the tension between Damien and the rest of the world. Blood on the Dance Floor would continue making music and touring the world, and Damien would fade into the background. The story of the end of a child's innocence, only remembered by a single viral video. It wouldn't be until 2020 when the story of Damien and Davi began to resurface.
Hello, my name is Jesus David Torres. I am the lead singer of Blood on the Dance Floor. I'm here to address the accusations that are made against me.
With the changing political climate at the time, women began to feel more comfortable coming forward about instances of SA. Among these were a number of underage girls recounting their experiences with Davi. The stories shockingly similar to that of Damien's. Countless blog posts, articles, and photographs began surfacing, showing Davi making inappropriate contact with underage fans. Suddenly, the story of a 10-year-old girl who had once lost everything to a monster began to seem not so far-fetched, and some of the internet was remorseful for what it had done to them.
This is to Jessie Slaughter, but I really am sincerely sorry for what's happening in your life. I think it's bad that people are tormenting you.
I just wanted to apologize for my last video that I made about Jessie Slaughter. Bullying lately has gotten really bad to the point where some kids don't even go outside because of it.
Do y'all remember Jessie Slaughter and the whole "you done goofed" era? The way her dad snapped on camera was hella funny back then, but looking back, the whole situation was just sad. Is Jessie Slaughter doing better now? I just had glimpses at the kinds of hell Jessie went through, and now I am really starting to worry if she is healthier now than we would expect her to be after that. To say Damien is doing better now comes with a grain of salt, because when visiting their TikTok account today, it appears they have fallen out of the limelight. But perhaps that's for the best. They are doing as good as someone can, given the circumstances they were dealt. Curly Girl, or Jessie Slaughter to some, prefers to go by Damien, hence why, out of respect, I have referred to them as such. Born Jessica Leonhardt, they came out following their 13th birthday. The transition, in the grand scheme of things, fits well with Damien's overarching story. Perhaps the pain and suffering that Jessica endured in her preteen years were healed by something that only Damien could provide. But the fact of the matter was that Davi Vanity, or Jesus David Torres, was still out there, and his crimes were catching up to him. Chris Hansen, known for his TV show To Catch a Predator, would begin conducting research on the Davi Vanity case in an online series on YouTube. During this time, he interviewed a number of pivotal figures in Davi's life, including old band members, friends, and women who fell prey to Davi's advances. Included in this lineup was none other than Curly Girl 13.
He was very obsessed with, like, my mouth and putting his fingers in my mouth.
Did he steal your childhood?
Yeah. When I first met him, I was playing with dolls and I slept with a sippy cup.
In their interview with Chris Hansen, Damien recalls this story to the best of their recollection. How a young girl fell in love with her idol and paid the price because of it. But while this episode was airing to positive reviews and messages of support towards Damien, Davi was elsewhere. Following the large number of women coming out and accusing Davi, Blood on the Dance Floor was removed from a number of tours and dropped from their merchandising website in 2018. Spotify and Google Play also removed all the Blood on the Dance Floor music in April of 2019. With his life now falling apart, Davi made a number of response videos to the allegations placed against him. Each one of these has gone more or less the same: denial and evasion. Despite all of this, as of making this video, no criminal charges have been placed against Davi. This naturally begs the question: what did Damien's parents do about the situation? In their later interviews with Chris Hansen, Damien explains that their parents pledged to drop all charges held against Davi if he agreed to cut all contact with their daughter entirely. And while I can't say I think this was the best way to go about this, I'm inclined to think that with all the backlash and attention coming from the internet, the poor family just wanted to get back to their normal lives. As for Davi in 2025, he continues to go live and play music, often begging his listeners for donations, as his music career appears to be no longer financially viable. I wish I could say that this story ends with Davi's conviction. I wish that justice could be served for all of the victims who have come forth. I wish that the internet wouldn't have failed Curly Girl 13. Davi was a monster in a physical form, but the way in which the internet treated Damien goes beyond that. The mob mentality, the spread of misinformation, we see these things in the online world today. It's my hope that bringing awareness to stories like Damien's serves as a cautionary tale. The purpose being that we cannot let something like this ever happen again.
I'm random. But anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. I'll be on Tiny Chat sometime later tonight. Love you. Bye.